Move into Real Estate Partners, the #1 locally owned independent brokerage in the entire Tennessee Valley. Give me a call.
Okay, it's always fun on a Monday morning when you can begin to plan ahead for some fun, getting a little bit closer to the weekend, right? Well, thank goodness Julia Watley is here this morning. She's with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
The fun you're bringing us is not for this Thursday, but just a couple away, November 5th.
That's right.
You're doing something called the Big Happier Hour.
That's right. We're super excited about it. November 5th, we get to say you go all out and you stay in. You don't have to get out of your house. You can dress up if you want to, but you don't have to. It'll be a great night.
So it's a virtual fundraiser. You've got kind of a star-studded lineup, if you will, from the food to the entertainment, right?
Yes. From the entertainment, we start off the night with Swavo. He's a local musician, a former Little Brother, too, so we're excited to have him there. And then Inky Johnson, a former Tennessee football player, which no matter how you feel about Tennessee football right now, it's still great to hear from. And then food from 1885, which we all know and love, and whiskey from Chattanooga Whiskey with a cocktail demonstration.
So the way this works, and I think it really is very fun. I think so many people are saying now how they're enjoying grabbing their food to go and bringing it home.
Yeah.
That's what this is, right? You'll pick up all of the stuff you need for the night, and then you enjoy it in your own kitchen.
Better than that, we deliver it to you.
Really?
So we will, some of our matches and some of our volunteers will come and deliver your food and your drink and everything, and you just have to log on your computer and watch and sit back and turn on the fire and be cozy.
So the other thing that's nice about this is that it's an in and out. It's an hour.
Yes, we promise we will not keep you more than an hour. That's why we put hour in the title.
So I know that sounds maybe kind of stingy, right? But I think that kept an awful lot of people in the past who wanted to give and help and be a participant in the fundraising efforts, but they either didn't have all night or it involved a babysitter.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
100%
benefit
right.
here.
Yeah, it's so easy. You know, you can either pick up your food or we can deliver. It's there. You're in and out in an hour. It doesn't take up your whole night. So it's on a Thursday night. You can get kids in bed. You can do everything you need to do.
The real part of the story for us to pick up on, though, besides the fundraiser on November 5th, is what Big Brothers and Big Sisters does and the good work that they do, as evidenced in the fact that Swavo was once a little brother.
That's right. And so all of the funds that we raise through this event and all of our events help us to continue to make and support those one-to-one mentoring matches. And you know, so many people have heard about this before, but this has been an interesting thing, that when a lot of nonprofits are figuring out how to do programs, we're very thankful that once things started to open up again, that our programs are one-to-one, and that a lot of times our volunteers are able to interact with their little in safe environments, and that we're still trying to get kids served and get them off our waiting list and get them matched with a big brother or big sister.
Okay, so talk about that waiting list a little bit. Do you find that there's more of a need for older kids than little kids?
There's definitely more of a need for older kids usually, and then we always have more boys on the waiting list than girls, and we need more male volunteers always. A lot of times we get more male kids interested, but we also just don't get as many male volunteers. So if you're a male and you're listening, we need you as a volunteer.
You also have it down to a very fine science. I mean, you don't want to waste anyone's time, especially the kids. So you don't want them to be paired up with somebody who's ultimately not going to be a good fit. So you do a pretty extensive background check, for one thing, but a lot of questionnaires to make sure that their personalities fit.
Yeah, we take a deep look at it on both sides because we want it to be a good fit for the volunteer, the child, and the family. The parent's going to have things that they're interested in for their child. So we do a very thorough background check. We check references. We do a very thorough interview that I feel like if I'm doing an interview after I get done with you, we should be best friends now. Or either you never want to talk to me again because I know too much about you, one or the other. But we get to know them very well. And the same for the child and the parent. We interview the child and the parent both. And so we get to know what are they interested in, what kind of person are they looking for, what kind of person are they maybe not looking for, because we want to make sure that we're going by what they're interested in for their child.
Okay, kind of a random question, but I would think like every other relationship, it builds with time. So you ask for a 1-year commitment?
We do. But most volunteers will tell you that they hit a year and they're ready to do another 5.
Because I would think you're kind of digging in at that point. So
Yes.
if over the course of, let's say, the first 3 to 6 months, you begin to get a stronger and stronger relationship, if you wanted to say, hey, I'm taking my kids to Atlanta for the weekend, can you just ask that child's parent if...
You cannot.
Okay.
That is one thing that we don't allow. We don't allow overnight visits with
Okay.
our kids and our volunteers.
Okay.
Just child safety is our #1 rule, and while we don't think any of our volunteers would ever do anything, that's just one preventative measure we can make sure
Right.
that keeps our kids safe.
Well, and I think that was kind of an important question to ask, A, for people to know,
Yeah.
and B, because you might have some guilt, if you will, of thinking, well, I'm going to go do this with my family, and I feel bad for not including my little brother or little sister. But
Yeah.
you don't have to
And
worry.
one thing, you brought up a good point that we don't talk about a lot, is because we are a go-between and we're checking in on the relationship with the parent, the child, and the volunteer on a regular basis. We don't ever want our volunteers to have to be the bad guy, per se. We don't want them to have to be the one that say, I don't think that's a good idea. We take that blame a lot. We get
Really?
to say, these are our boundaries and these are our rules, and the volunteer is just meeting and abiding by those boundaries.
Gotcha.
Because we don't want the kid to ever feel like the volunteer is not doing something that they wish they could.
Right.
When it's something that's really just a rule that we've made up.
Okay, so let's talk about the impatience factor, if you will. You make this decision, hey, I want to do this, I want to sponsor a kid. It takes, though, some time. You won't just get a child right away, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the fastest most people could get through the screening process is about a month. And that'd be if you were somebody who's really on it, because you got to go get your background check at the fingerprint place. You've got to do your interview. You've got to submit your references. You've got to do your training. So there's steps, and it's not overwhelming. But if you're going to do it very quickly, you might get through in a month.
But that's also a really good thing, because that means that you're not making a quick decision and then you change your mind later. If you can hold on to that desire for 4 to 6 weeks, that means your heart really is in the right place.
And it helps us because we want to make sure that as a volunteer, you're getting matched with a kid that the chances of this being a long, strong relationship are the highest that we can make them.
Right.
And so we don't want to make a quick, rash decision on our side either. We want to take a good look at the kids that we have and a good look at that volunteer and say, no, this is the best match we can make. And people involved in the program will tell you it's a science, and we've just gotten really good at it over the years.
Okay, a minute left with the big happier hour. Do you happen to know the menu?
Oh, I do. There'll be 2 options. Well, and a vegetarian option. So you will either do short ribs or chicken.
Okay.
And then the vegetables and the starch and potatoes.
You
and
can
green beans
never
will stay
go
the
wrong,
same.
though, at $18.85.
No, it's going to be delicious, and with that Chattanooga whiskey on the side too. So it's going to be a great night. Tickets are available on our website. Hurry up and get them.
Okay, there's all the information that you need right there on your screen. November 5th is the date. Julia, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We're back after this.
Seems like CBD stores are popping up on every corner. Make sure you choose a knowledgeable vendor you can trust, like the Hemp House.